Great. I know you mentioned your team, and I interact with your team a lot, and you're right. You've got a really great team. They say that the hardest thing to do is to hire properly, right? Finding talent, keeping talent. But it's like in sports, the coaches, the hardest thing that they have to do is to recruit and to manage the team. And but no, you've certainly got a world-class team. It's fascinating what you've done as far as you came on board with the plan to grow the company, to further internationalize the company, and you've been doing that. But it's interesting because I think that if I remember correctly, the first time that we did an interview was right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit, and it's been crazy because as an IT security company, I know you guys do more than just security, but as a company that really has that focus, all of these companies that had technological debt that they had accumulated, they hadn't really completed their digital transformation journey. But now all of a sudden they have to look at how to deal with remote modalities and things like that, and you guys were here to help them along that journey. So how did the pandemic change the nature of the business that ETEK does, or change the relationship that ETEK has with your clients and customers?
Yeah, that's a great question, Lauren. I think I divide this into two parts, and it's kind of a normal human behavior. I say the pandemic 1.0
okay.
and pandemic 2.0. I think 1.0 was all about being in shock, right? I don't know what to do, how to digitize, how to make people work from home suddenly. What should be our process? What should be our process? How to ensure that our users are able to connect and work from home? There were many fundamental questions that came in front of the CIO or CISO, or in terms of the technology executives, and they all struggled because nobody prepared for it. Just suddenly came, and there was a lot of shock. The exchange rate went up. I cannot place my orders because exchange rate is. So everything slowed down, and everyone's first thing is, let me shut down or close, and then see what I should learn about this, and then I will be able to manage it. So the vision was very limited to short-term fix.
Right.
Short-term solutions to, really the basic thing was to make people work from home. And a lot of clients struggle with that because their firewalls were not sized to that capacity. We don't have infrastructure to scale, and the clients were asking for help. That can you help us, our users being connected to basic things like connection from home to office and let them work from home. I think that was the phase one, and we were kind of working with a lot of clients, helping them scale, helping them networks to be in the cloud, digitize their networks, helping them doing with endpoint securities, looking at all the controls, helping them define the policies of work from home, helping them doing basic stuff so that they can be able to come out of that wave. In pandemic 2.0, I think there was a lot of learning curve from 1.0.
Okay.
And organizations realized that this is going to go for long, and we cannot sustain in this manner for very long. We have to have that growth mindset. We have to come back. We have to start surviving and thriving. And now let's start focusing on building that foundation for scale and growth. And that's kind of where the transmission started with many clients, where clients said, okay, I need to change my thinking, I need to change my approach, the way I've been working. I have to review my architecture, I have to look at my investments accordingly. What should I do in endpoint side, because the security is changing a lot. Can I go to cloud? Is my cloud secure? How is my networks? Is my zero trust networks? Is my network secure? How can I look at networks being scalable? And networks be designed to connect larger, diverse organizations, set of partners and ecosystem, not only designed to internally cater to my employees or internal stakeholders. So I'm kind of digitizing now, and I'm going to digital in big manner. And how quickly IT can or cybersecurity can help to digitize. So all those questions came in the mind of the C-level, and that's where the discussion started. I think one more challenge that came was that because of pandemic and because of the number of attacks, because you were not prepared and we went out, we saw a lot of attacks like ransomware attacks. We saw attacks like OT security attacks. We saw the US gas pipeline attack.
Yeah.
Right. We saw the attack on the the food production industry. So those kind of became real. And then organization realized that the value of security. And I'll tell about the downside of that as well. So essentially what happened was everyone then realized that security is so important for us, because if we have to digitize, we have to go and work in a new era, in this new reality, we have to look at cybersecurity in a very different manner. And suddenly cybersecurity became a board topic, and I was reading that Gartner prediction that almost 40% boards will have a cybersecurity responsibility, and essentially it kind of became an executive topic. People are start looking at risk, a cybersecurity risk perspective, and start measuring themselves.
Right.
An OT attack became those common. I think that the downside was that there was a big churn in the industry.
Okay.
The talent was in shortage. Everyone was losing talent. If I go to any CISO and ask him about talent right now, there is a big question mark around cybersecurity talent. We saw almost 30-35% churn when
Wow.
people were looking for cybersecurity talent. And there is a shortage of skill sets. Everyone is looking for skill sets. We saw US companies moving their bases to Colombia, and start hiring people in Colombia. So that kind of created a lot of pressure on us. How do we kind of look at talent pool? How do we look at automation? How do we look at doing things differently so that we can scale? And how we can create a new talent pool,
Right.
so that we can cater to industry needs. So those were the other sides of pandemic.